Legends in the zone, toys unwrapped. Smoking that clean, yo, we all trapped. Randy Savage voice, macho man swag. Crown Fox and Felix in the back, they lag. Sunday night vibes, stream alive and kicking. Toys everywhere, chats finger licking. Laughs so raw from Felix to the Fox. Legend drops bars, no keys, no locks. Crowded screen scene, let the fun roll in. Toy adventures, wizards can begin. Legend in the spotlight, jokes and cheers. Pre-roll live, ain't no fears. Voice impressions, much respect to the goats. Legends got the move, single flow. Smoke clouds rise, shake sweet embrace. Felix cracking jokes, never serious face. Fox and Felix, duet of the night. Giggles in the background, top flight. Legend with the toys, no kids zone. Pre-roll streams, together we grown. Sunday, Sunday, live in your house. Legend cracks a joke, everyone shouts. Unboxing magic, toys on parade. Stoners and nerds in the escapade.
Previously on Hella Dope Toys.
The preceding announcement has been paid for by Legend Series YouTube channel.
None of yous know why I'm here right now. You guys wanted me to come on your program. Well, here I am, and I'm bringing the madness with me. Oh yeah, dig it!
Let me tell you something, Mean Gene. My name is Ted Darklaw, Jack, and this dude over here, he's the Black Knight, alright, Jack? And we're the tag team known as Hella Dope Toys.
This little sweet story right here. I got this super sweet, funky thing going on around here. And this guy only here trying to go on a 2-on-1 handicap. I say, look here, fella, you don't know about hard times. Let me tell you about hard times is when I sit in this basement and I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do today?
Yeah, I think I broke everybody's AirPods with that one. Yeah, so thanks for being so smooth and buttery sweet.
That's what I do, man. That's what I do.
Well, how's it going, man? I'm excited about today. Yeah. I'm great. I'm loving life. I did not clean my Hella Dope mug, so I have a giant cup of I'm the fucking boss right here. And I'm ready to go, but how are you?
I mean, it's Sunday and day jobbing it up.
Did you know that tonight, after this show, we are doing our very first members-only stream?
I did not. Actually, I was going to go to bed, but I guess I should stay awake.
I mean, you could go to bed. We'll just stream you sleeping. It's whatever. I mean, it's what half our shows are anyway. You just staring off and watching TV.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah.
No, it's exciting, man. We want to let our watchers use that membership that they paid or was gifted last week to spill some tea, as they say.
Yeah, I might go on my Boglins rant for real tonight, actually. Ooh. So if y'all want to hear the real beef behind Boglins, then join that stream. And then we got one other thing going on. So in honor of our special guest tonight, Mr. Legend Series, I went ahead, we put a poll up on Friday saying like, hey, y'all want a weekend WWE sale? And everybody said yes. So right now, using the code Legend Series, it's one word, we sent an email. You can get 20% off all WWE products. In stock, pre-order, whatever. That's there. And that's until midnight. Just till midnight. After that, back to regular price, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until the next time, I feel like putting something on.
Until next time. Until next time. But, the part of being a member on this channel also means like you get those super secret sweet ass discount codes, man. And people lit us up on Thursday when I dropped that 50% off coupon. And dude, people were saving like 10, 15, 30 fucking dollars. Somebody saved $30 on their order off of the $4.99 membership that we offer. And that is insane.
I'm going to have to talk to our accountant and make sure we can still offer these super sweet deals.
No, it's magic. It works. It's working. It's working. We're okay. We're doing great. Aaron, we have a very special guest today. He is former indie wrestling god and most currently a toy YouTuber, toy customizer, and host of everybody's other favorite Sunday night stream, the Sunday night pre-roll. So at this time, I would like to welcome our special guest, Mr. Legend Series.
Wow.
Tony, how the hell are you doing, man?
That was some intro. Like an indie god.
Hey, you started from the streets and now you're here.
I appreciate that. Those kind words, buddy. Thank you so much for having me, man. Very, very much appreciated, guys.
Let me start off by saying, first off, that song, banger.
Oh, thank you so much, man.
Like I'm sitting there, I'm just like bobbing away. I'm like,
yeah,
listen to this on repeat.
I wanted a song that you could like before the pre-roll starts, you could kind of just smoke a J to and chill. And
I could definitely see like young me back in the day, like in the car, rolling the fatty, listening to this and saying, Ted, let's do another one. Yes.
It's exactly the feel I was going for. Like I said,
heading toward to the street lamp.
Yeah.
Coming up with something funky.
Back in the day, before we call a radio station on a payphone and then try to spit it for them. But yeah, ever since you sent the promo clip, which was amazing, by the way, I'm actually kind of sad that I don't really have a real reason to play it anymore. But I was just like listening in the background. I was like, I need to hear this whole fucking thing. I need to hear the whole thing. And you needed entrance music anyway, right? That's what wrestlers do. They come out to the music. Can't just bring you in.
I appreciate the when you hit me up and told me to do a promo, I looked over at my wife and I said, coming out of retirement. I said, it's been a while since I did one of these, man. I had to dust the old chops off, but felt good, man. I appreciated the opportunity to kind of do something like that. And I appreciate you guys playing it as many times as you did on your live streams, man. Thank you very much for that.
That was good, man. It reminded me, like watching wrestling as a kid. You get those real good like shoot promos, and it's like, oh man, like he hit that one right out the park. I told Ted when we went off air when he played it the first time, I'm like, man, we need a rebuttal. We need to shoot something for this.
I was expecting one. I honestly was. When he hit me up and he said, I want this promo to like, interfere. I want it to really hit hard. And I was just like, ooh, I have an idea. When he said, I immediately thought the old WCW, the following announcement has been paid for by the NWO. Because I used to like literally huddle up in front of the TV whenever those commercials would come on. They popped me every single time. So as soon as he said along the lines of that kind of promo, I was like, oh shit, I have to kind of give a nod to like one of my favorite groups in pro wrestling, man.
It was incredible. Like, I saw it and I got giddy because I didn't think it was going to be that fucking good. And then there was just so much that we were able to do with that from, you know, you were going live at the time, and I know you briefly had an intermission to come watch when the promo dropped. But even prior to that, like during the intro, there was like interference. There was a power outage on our show, you know, like it was just all these things led up to it. And I was just like, this is fucking perfect. I'm breaking kayfabe here, you know, but it's whatever. It's done now. We're here. We're here.
2024. That doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, I know. But, we have a lot to discuss, but we have traditions here and I cannot break them. So before we get too far into the nitty gritty, I have to ask my friend here, Mr. Black Knight, what are you sipping on?
Well, it was going to be nothing, man. It was a rough week.
Nothing.
But I stopped over by the old gas station and picked up a little, you know, for the still reserves. I was just gonna have like Mountain Dew. I was like, man, just the sugar. I needed the sugar. It's been like the last 48 hours been rough. But no, here we are. I'm off tomorrow, so I said, fuck it. Mr. Darklaw, in your non-trusty Hella Dope mug, what is it that you are sipping on?
In my giant cup of I'm the fucking boss, I am drinking coffee because we're gonna have a long fucking night, friend. But, you know, it wouldn't be a Hella Dope live stream without the trusty waters of Saratoga by my side, keeping me fueled up. No way. Is that the same bottle from like 6 months ago, dude?
Sure is.
Oh, just give it to me. Just give it to me already. Fucking Saratoga abuse right there.
I'm gonna shoot a whole video of me pouring it out in different places. Like,
yeah, for the homies, right?
Here's this crappy garden that I tried to plant. Here's some Saratoga water. Neighbor dog who barks all night. Here's some Saratoga water.
Yeah.
That's fancy water.
It's something. It's never again. I will actually drink real water before I drink that again.
Aaron, we do have a guest here, so we have to ask our wonderful friend Tony here. Tony, what you sipping on?
Well, out of my Hella Dope Mython the Python commemorative mug, which I love, by the way, I'm just drinking some fancy Poland Spring. I mean, it's not as fancy as Saratoga, but it's got some, you know, still got the same kick.
It's hard to beat. Hard to beat. All right. Aaron, this fucking chat has lit the fuck up. A combination between Mr. Legend Series being here, us dropping a 20% off WWE figures code on the site, and it's Chad looks like he is rating us here. Oh boy, we got a lot to go through. So we're gonna get through our greetings to you guys, but we have a limited time with Tony here. We got a lot to cover, so we're gonna try to keep an eye out for questions, but I don't know if we'll be as chat heavy tonight. So, you know, make those chats count, people.
I appreciate it. It's Chad's raid. Thank you, bud.
Of course, Rollkeeper reclaims his number one commenter of the day. Notify me. Hello, dopers. Oh yeah. Dig it. Rollkeeper following in number 2. My God, here comes Punk with toys with a steel chair. We got same toys, same time toys. The dream always rises to the top. We got Crowned Fox Productions.
That's my lovely wife. Hey, babe.
We got Robert's Infinite Realms with that Hella Dope and Jelly Time and this one-time legendary. I should have hit that Barney on that one. Missed opportunity. Miss Stacy Hatch, How's it going? Good to see you. And of course, the missus, probably putting the hellions to bed, hopping on to say hello. And we got a punk with toys. How's it going, Lawrence? Good to see you, man.
Hell yeah.
Miss Mython the Python. I heard this is where the party people are at.
Place to be.
After watching that UFC fight last night, man. Ooh.
I
Man.
didn't talk about that. We'll save that for the post show.
And of course, Miss Crown Fox Productions. Oh yeah, my boy has a promo code. He did it.
I made
He's
it.
big time now. Love it. Mike on the Python. What's up, mother truckers? Lunchbox Killers. Hey yo, what's happening? How's it going? Good to see you.
My man.
Justin Booth. What's up, Raw Dogs?
Nice.
Make sure, hit that like button, man. Hit it.
Hell yeah.
Smack it. Throw an elbow on it. Drop that big leg drop that only Hulk Hogan knows how to win with.
Hogan must pose.
Exactly. Just Jeff, Tony's bringing his A game to everything he does.
Oh, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Just Jeff, what a wonderful man.
Same time, Toys. Legend Series is one of the great ones.
Another great
brother.
brother. Hell yeah, bud. Appreciate you.
And of course, Miss Stacy Hatch becoming an official Hell Dope. Official.
That's so exciting, man. She's going to be there for the post show. It wouldn't be the same without her, right?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. James Lucas, how's it going? Good to see you.
James, what's up, bud?
Nico Tronus with the Chad Raid.
That's my man, Nico.
JMK, hella dope. And my boy, Tony.
Mikey. How you doing, bud?
We got Dan Jammin. Hello. Zakanan coming to join us. Rumbles into the stream. Just watch that first step, Zakanan. I heard it was a doozy. Duarte Studios. What?
Very talented.
Oh yeah, the man's work is phenomenal.
Yeah, it is.
I'm waiting for this that secret thing he mentioned that he's going to be dropping. I want to know what it is.
Hell yeah.
Maybe we need to talk again there, Duarte.
Mm-hmm.
You know where to hit us up at. Just Jeff, how's it going, man? Good to see you. Random Diorama, and if you haven't heard the great news, the restock of the Radnom crates have arrived. So if you are still looking to get some, or you just want to add more to your collection, get them while the getting's good, because once they are gone, they might be gone forever.
Yeah, I think I got to give me some of those things. Those things are awesome, by the way. I've seen like Punk with Toys and a bunch of other pictures. Great for photography. And Random Diorama is another great, talented diorama maker as well.
Indeed.
I watch his streams all the time.
I tried to, but for a while I was working like Friday nights, so I'd pop in just to hey, what's up?
Yeah.
But lately now I haven't been working Friday nights, and I just fall asleep.
I'm the same. I see his notification and I say I was so close, Rad Knob, but maybe next week. And then it's just lights out, and I don't make it.
It's impressive how it's a random, how he just kind of builds whatever's in his mind.
Yeah,
it always comes together at the end. He's like Bob Ross, man. Pretty sick.
Hell, he did it one on the Moss Man mobile, dude. He's and we were just talking about it midstream, and then boom, it became a thing.
That's awesome, man.
We got these nuts. Came over from its chat. Good to see, man. Thank you for stopping, man.
Great name, These Nuts.
Ted, we must be big time now because we got a legendary 666 super chat from Zakanan. We must be a thing now.
We are special. How about
that's a heel turn, knocks out the ref and rips off the shirt to reveal. That's pure shit. I love it. That's amazing.
Dude, Zakanan has to be thrilled that he doesn't have to moderate right now. Normally you got him working, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we could put you to work, man. You just say
I still owe him that beer, and I promise, Zakanan, the next time we hang out, I will buy you that beer.
Also, we've got Mike on the Python with that generous $4.99 super chat. Thank you, sir.
Hell yeah.
He says him and the missus are watching from Nashville, Tennessee's hotel.
Yeah, he went to a convention this weekend, and I saw him kill it with the cosplay and everything like that. Great job, buddy.
Oh yeah.
Man, that's real dedication right there. You're in Nashville in a hotel room late at night with your wife, and you're like, "Nah, we watching Hello Dope Toys Legend Series, baby."
I'm just saying, like, if Ted was on a show and I was in Nashville with my wife with no kids, I'm not tuning in, bro.
I'll catch you on the
friendship, man.
replay.
I'll catch the replay 2 weeks later after I remembered that you had a show. Also, we got HGC with another generous $5 super chat. Thank you so much for that. It says, speaking of Hulkster, saw that Python Power Hogan figure today. Dear Lord, that face sculpt freaked out Hulkster, brother.
That was the 80s, man.
It was, yeah. And then, of course, whoever received this gifted.
I believe it was Miss Mython the Python got it.
Oh, well, awesome. I'm not on the screen, so I can't see it. Well, Mrs. Mython the Python, congratulations. At least Ed didn't gift himself another one last week.
Yeah.
And I think that's all. We got one more with Anthony Rosario. What's up, gents?
Hey, man. What's up?
All right. The show is
All
yours,
right.
sir.
Look, dude, we're kicking this off with the tough question. So I don't want to. You had a great interview with a Punk with Toys about a month or so ago.
Yeah.
I don't want to rehash all that. So the next important question after the "what you sipping on" question is let's talk about this ball fan. What kind of ingenuity is that? You spoke of this ball fan. And I said, "Is this motherfucker a genius?"
Yeah. Well, okay. I'll tell you how.
Tell me about the ball fan.
All right. Well, when we do this live streams, I have like 100 fucking lights on me, right? So I started to, you get real fucking hot under the goddamn lights. And my wife is 100 pounds soaking wet with a brick in her pocket, so you can't have the air conditioner on because she'll freeze her ass off. So I'm just sitting here one afternoon, and I'm like, the worst part. My buddy Kenny used to play football. And he used to tell me that whenever he was on the field and it was cold out there, the coach would tell him, tuck your hands by your balls because that's where all the heat is. Yeah. Right. So me and Kenny used to have a joke. He was my tag team partner when I used to be a wrestler. It was just like, well, if it gets that warm in the winter, then if you blow air on it and keep it cool in the summer, naturally it would do the opposite, I guess. So one afternoon, I'm just sitting here with her. I'm like, you know what? We had this little fan sitting off on the side. It was just sitting there unplugged. And I said, grab that fan, plug it in, just aim it, put it under the table, aiming at my balls during the stream. And I think I'll be okay. And buddy, I'll tell you, halfway through the stream, I was freezing my ass off. I was like, I think I'm onto this ball fan. And then at that point, every stream after that, I always had that goddamn fan under the table. Oh, man. And let me tell you, I'm telling you right now, if you get real hot sitting in your chair, consider getting yourself a ball fan. I'm telling you, it'll work wonders.
Apparently, Stacy's a ball fan. we won't ask why yet. We'll save that for the show. Well, maybe I don't want to know like what's happening over here. But okay, I'm down. I mean, I'm in a basement, so it's always cold down here. So.
Oh, geez, like I said, when we were in the locker rooms, there's the weird stuff. That's kind of weird shit we talk about. I tell people all the time, I'm not like the normal dudes in the locker room. I would always make jokes. It was always about a joke with me, ribbing, making people laugh, and like that was one of the things I used to make people laugh about all the time. Get yourself a ball fan, and like it was funny too because when it actually worked, it kind of was like, babe, this fucking thing's actually working. I was like, it's actually cooling me down. This is great.
I'm gonna give me like, let's get like one on each side, just like fan it in, like yeah,
for real.
Like, no sticky balls today, buddy.
Yeah, no, you said it on stream and it changed me. I was standing in the shower having shower thoughts, and like this deep narrative in my mind about like this man created a ball fan.
Yeah,
it's incredible. I also want to talk about your show's producers. So you're normally on right now. You took the night off to hang out with us, and we appreciate it. But it appears that your lovely wife is your show producer, or she's just an armchair quarterback producer. I'm not sure which, but I love the dynamic of you're talking about something, you're holding up a figure, you're like, Yeah, this is my tombstone figure, and she's in the back going, "Babe, did you see the chat Zakanin put in?
Yeah.
Hey, you gotta read it. You gotta read Zakanin." And she's just yelling at you the whole show, and you're like, "Okay, I guess I'm not talking. I guess I'm reading the chat now." And it's absolutely adorable, and I loved the gimmick, to be honest.
Yeah. What happened was the first day, like I was telling you off before we went live. The first stream, I said to her, I was like, I think just do me a favor, hang out in here because I don't think anybody's gonna come in here. And if nobody comes on the stream and I don't have a chat to talk to, just stay in the room and I'll just kind of like Carson Ed McMahon it, and I'll just talk to you like this, and you'll just kind of feed me lines, and I'll just kind of I'll play off you, I'll riff. And she was like, all right. And plus, I have a major anxiety problem, and she's like my emotional support dog. So I just said, just be in the room with me, and you'll calm me down, and I won't get nervous. So she was like, all right. And then it just kind of like happened. Like, it was just like that. Like, I was like, I told her, like, I'm going to open some toys on this stream today. Like, because the first couple streams, it was just like I was building a Ninja Turtle van because I don't know if he's still in the chat, but I saw Duarte Studios video on what he did with his van. And I was like, oh my goodness gracious, I want to give this a shot. So I was like, working on it live on stream. And then as the stream started to evolve, it became like, oh, I'll start opening toys too on stream. And then I said to her, I was like, can you do me a favor and just watch? Because if I'm doing this, looking down at something, I'm not seeing what's going on just in case people do fucking come, because I don't know what's going on, right? So she was like, all right. And then that became like a thing. Like, a lot of times, I'm not gonna lie to you, I stopped paying attention to the chat because either it's become like either it's like I'm in the middle of doing like a impersonation. I'm doing Macho Man, or I'm doing Estelle, or I'm doing whoever, Kermit the Frog, Skeletor. I'm just starting to riff off the top of my head, and I'm not paying attention anymore because I got an action figure in my hand, and that's when I hear like literally like the Muppet on the balcony talking shit, like, hey, dummy, pay attention to the chat. These people are trying to get involved and talk to you. Exactly. So it's like kind of like the bell ringer for the round. Like, she rings the bell. She's like, all right, come back to reality and start talking to the lovely people that took time out of their afternoon to come here and hang out with you. And the least you can do is acknowledge them. And like I said, it became like, and then like I said, she always, like, this is stuff I've done with her before I did the live stream. She was the one who kind of pushed me to a live stream, because she was like, yo, you do all these funny fucking impersonations with me. You take the toy, you start acting it out like an ass clown. Do it on a stream with everybody. Like, be silly with like, and then, so I told her, it was like, naturally you have to be in here because it was always meant for you anyway. So we'll just riff together. And now, like I said, she's become like a staple. I can't do the show without her. And then as the weeks went on, we added Felix, and he's like the basically the laugh track in the background that you hear every time we say something. You hear a jovial laugh from the couch. It's like I said, it evolved into something I never expected, but I couldn't do it without her, man. I tell you, because like I said, she was the one who literally keeps me calm and keeps me level through the stream. Because even when, like I said, the social anxiety messes with me, and when I look up and I see the number, like you see a little number on how many people are in there, sometimes it fucks with me, man. And I can't like oh shit, now I gotta be like, hey, like I gotta perform or whatever, because it starts to fuck with me. But her being in here, I don't even think about that anymore, because I'm just always looking over at her talking. So she's been like a major factor in the whole streaming thing.
Well, it took me a minute. I had to like cover the number, so I couldn't see it.
Yeah.
And it took a while. Like I said, then streaming on Twitch and streaming on YouTube, like in my gaming phase, it's like, man, just talk. Just keep talking, even if no one's there. Just talk. Someone's there, and eventually, someone pops up, and you're like, oh shit, hey, finally. But I get that. I'm not very like, the anxiety piece doesn't get me. It's like, how do I talk to no one?
Man.
Like, I had to learn that. That was tough. But yeah. Now I don't even like. I know it's there, but I don't even pay attention.
Yeah, for me, it was honestly, it was the lessons I got from pro wrestling, because I would learn to talk to myself by cutting promos in the mirror, and when I got hurt and I couldn't be a wrestler no more, I became a commentator. So I was always practicing that too. like shutting off the audio to a match and calling it myself, and then coming up with riffs and jokes and just kind of like talking to myself essentially. And that's how I got like good at that. So like that was the thing, dude. Like the talking game was always my thing with wrestling because I wasn't athletic. I wasn't a high flyer. So I literally focused my attention on the promo and the art of the promo and that part, because I knew for a fact no one was going to book me because I could do a plancha, because I couldn't, and no one was going to hire me because I was 6'5", jack, muscle bound, meathead. No one would, I'm not that guy. So I had to be the only guy I knew how to be, which was a sniveling prick. And I had to get you to hate me by talking. So that's literally all I focused my attention on. So being able to talk to nobody, I got great practice because of wrestling. So when I could sit here, because there are times when I do members only streams where she's not here, and I just like that. I just kind of, you're talking to a mirror. You're just cutting a promo. You're just cutting a promo. Don't look at the number. You're just cutting a promo. It's literally kind of what I tell myself as I'm going through the motions.
While we're on the subject of your wife still, Ed, can you drop a link to her channel in the chat? I know she's not necessarily toy centric, but somebody
if you
might
like
find
if you like
her channel interesting.
cryptids, paranormal stuff, all that's what she focuses her stuff on. She's a short film. She's a short film maker, and now she's doing like documentaries and stuff like that about cryptids and stuff. So I appreciate that though. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, Ed will find it and he'll drop it, or we'll yell at him here in a little bit. We'll get it in there. Awesome. So there's a lot of stuff on the wrestling that we're going to tackle, and I know a lot of it's just going to sprinkle in, and we'll keep it kind of towards the end, because I think that's the part Aaron and I are going to get the most excited about, the most worked up over, because listening to some of your thoughts on wrestling psychology, I find incredibly interesting. And I'm just like, I just want to sit down with a beer and talk to this dude about wrestling. So before Aaron and I get too excited, we're going to hold off on that for a little bit, but let's talk about your YouTube channel. We were talking before the show started, and I was just like, it feels like you appeared out of nowhere, and you came into the toy YouTube game with pretty good production value.
Yeah.
Obviously you have a history of being able to talk, so that worked well. And you seem to be knowledgeable about what you're doing and what you're talking about. And the first show of yours that I saw on your channel was the Mython the Python interview. And, you have that mug right there. That mug, you were literally the catalyst to that. Had you have not done that Mython show, I wouldn't have watched it. I wouldn't have been inspired by Mython's story. I never would have reached out to him. That whole thing never would have happened. The reason that mug is sitting on your desk right now is a big part to do with you, just because you did that show, and shit's fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy how it works, man.
I don't know, where'd the toy YouTube come from? You're a wrestling guy.
Yeah.
How do you just change gears and be like, yeah, I'm just going to do fucking toy YouTube now?
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, a while back, it starts from like when I started the wrestling production company. I got hurt. I couldn't do wrestling no more. The guy who trained me was basically a second father, sat me down and said, instead of getting depressed and angry and bitter, just realize that you could still contribute by doing something else. And that's how I got into the production. So that's how I learned how to do production and stuff like that. And, I grew that channel to where it is, and I'm very proud of that. That's awesome. But there was something pulling me towards toys always. I was always a collector. I always liked toys. I was always a huge action figure guy. But when there was a point where I kind of was like, I need something to kind of get me over, like not being able to like wrestle anymore, or like focus all my attention on that shit anymore. So I got into like photography and shit like that. And then when I discovered that you could build dioramas and all that other stuff, I was like, oh, fuck, you can kind of, like start a YouTube channel and just build stuff, because you like to do that stuff. I loved building stuff. I did cosplay before this. So I made a shit ton of costumes. I sold costumes. I did that. So I was doing that for a while, but that gets to a point where you're kind of like, I'm too fucking old to dress like Batman. You know what I'm saying? I'm too old to kind of like, you know, be like, hey, I'm Spider-Man. You know, like I'm just like, no, I'm and I always I always tell this joke with my wife. I say, I don't look like Batman. I look like the guy Batman beats up for information about the Joker. I was like, that's who I look like, you know, and know your role, you know, so that's kind of why I got out of the costume game. So like I had to focus my attention because I like to make shit on something. So it became toys and action figure photography and diorama building. So then I just started the channel just kind of as like a reference so that I could just kind of put my everything that's up here on paper essentially. So I would just start putting it on YouTube. And it was just kind of like simple tutorials. It was called Freshly Baked Props because I'm an avid weed smoker. And I will tell everybody that weed kind of saved my life because I had an opioid problem. Because like I said, I have an injury from about 12 years ago that I still suffer from today. And I had a problem with, you know, opioids. So I came off that, and weed was like the thing that kind of like opened my mind and opened all this creativity, because that's what made me go to film school, start production company, start going down this road. So it's like a thing that I always tell people, I never put it in a negative light. It's a positive thing for me. It created this amazing life that I now have. So it's very a weed centric, my channel. So I always call it Freshly Baked Props, and Freshly Baked Props was just dioramas, little props that I make, and that's it. No one was really watching, and I was just like, all right, you know, no big deal, whatever. And so the channel was there, but no one gave a shit except for one guy, and I think he's in the chat room. I'll shout him out right now. Jay Gonzo apparently was watching all my stuff, and I didn't realize because I would premiere it. You know how you can premiere the videos, and I would not realize that when you premiere it, it's essentially like a live, because people can talk like live as it's playing. And he would come in and I guess thought it was alive and thought I was like no selling them. And I just didn't know nobody was watching. I was like, I'm posting this shit. Nobody's gonna fucking watch this shit. That's what I'm thinking in my head. And I found about action figure stop motion and play motion. And that's when I kind of started to come out of my shell, because that's when I started to find live streams and stuff like that. And then I found Articulated Ninja was the first one. And my wife told me to speak up in the chat, because I would watch you guys. Like I would watch live streams, like whether it be Punk with Toys, anybody else, but I wouldn't say anything because I'm like, who the fuck wants to hear what I got to say? You know, I don't, you know, I don't think I'm like this, like knowledgeable guy, as you said. Like I don't know what the fuck. I just, this is how I feel about the stuff, you know? And that's when she said, you should start talking more. Tell these people how you feel. See if there's other people out there that kind of like agree with you. And long and behold, I said, well, I want to do, like, I saw people would do these live streams together, but I never saw like a one-on-one conversation. Like I saw Punk with Toys is a Thursday with a Friend, which is kind of like a live stream, but he addresses a chat. So it's kind of you, him, and the chat. So it's not one-on-one. And I said, I want a one-on-one, because when you get one-on-one, that's when people kind of tend to open up, because it's just YouTube. There ain't no chat. You don't have to worry about people watching. So that's how it kind of started to happen. And that's it led me to Mython, because all of a sudden I started playing these episodes, and it started with the Savage Land, who I always shout him out because he was the first door to everybody starting to come to watch me. That was the first time I posted a video where people started to, like, the comments, the engagement was much more than I had ever seen before. And people were like shouting him out. It was great to see Savage Land talking like this passionately about toys and shit like that. And I was just like, oh wow, this could actually be a thing. And then like it went down the road. I just started interviewing people that I didn't want to interview, like the regulars. Like I wasn't trying to like, I'm going to interview him because it's going to further my position on YouTube. I just saw something that they would say, like you said, you saw me say something, you're like, I want to talk to him. Like it was kind of like that. Like as I kind of went down this road, there was people that I started to see, and I'm like, I want to have a chat with that guy because he's like, I'm a fan. Like I like his work. And then I want to be a friend with him because, again, I don't want to beat this dead horse, but I have the bad social anxiety, and I want to go to toy shows, but a lot of times I can't because there's so many people that fucks with me. But I said to myself, like, well, if you do a talk show thing, you do one-on-one, you get to know the person. Then if you show up to one of these conventions and you see these people, then they're not strangers no more. then you know a lot of these people because now you have already engaged with them at least one-on-one, at least at one point. So you can at least go up to them and say, hey man, how you doing? It's not like, oh my God, like I don't feel that insane anxiety because I don't know anybody there. It's crazy how it changes my mindset because it happened with my with Woody 222. I became very good friends with Woody, and I went to a convention with my wife, who again, who's a big help, but knowing that I was going to meet him there was like tunnel vision. So I don't think about the thousands of people that are there now because I'm going to see the one guy. And that's how this whole thing came about. I didn't expect it to, like I said, the interview with Mython, it was because he always interests me. I saw the goodness in him through chats. I didn't even like know him, but I saw how good he was in articulated ninjas chats, how generous he was, and just hearing like I didn't know his story at all, but to see it kind of unfold in chats, like when Ninja would do like members only, you would kind of see a little bit come out. I was like, I got to talk to this fucking guy because there's a story there. Because like I said, when it comes to wrestling, I'm all about storytelling, and I love to hear people's stories. And to hear his story was mind blowing. And it was like, dude, how are you not like telling people about this, about these like that life that where you flatlined and shit like that? Like that's fucking crazy to hear that experience. That people, like when I started talking figures, it was just me and I was just talking about my anxiety, and so many people related to it, and that was just anxiety. I told him, I was like, you've gone through a lot of shit that people could probably relate to and kind of like understand, and that's really what this is about. Because when it comes to like, even like I said, when it comes to wrestling gimmicks, the ones that take off are the ones that everybody can relate to. Like when you see somebody, you're like, I can relate to that guy. I want to be that guy. I want to be like that guy. I feel like that guy. That's the kind of like, that's the channel I wanted to create if I was going to start this thing. And that's basically that's how I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it 100 with people. I don't want it to, the channel will never run me. I will always like run the channel. You understand? Like, I don't want it to think like I said, I've said people multiple times, like I already got the plaque. It's behind me for the wrestling channel. Like this is for me because I love playing with toys. And like, it was really about building stuff and doing play motion and stop motion. Because that's really what inspired me, what really gave me the fire to really give my effort to this channel.
Oh yeah.
So a lot to follow up with on
that.
drop some bombs on us there.
Yeah.
So in regards to the interviews, right? So I praised Lawrence for his Thursday with a Friend because he did so well at interviewing people. And no offense, we love Lawrence, but you just don't expect that from him. And he just had these back-to-back really good interviews with people. And I was just like, fuck, Lawrence interviews really well. But you're right up there with it. So for a person who appears to be kind of an introvert with like social anxiety, I understand you've been cutting promos and whatnot your whole life, but how do you translate cutting promos into doing a deep dive interview, especially with Mython, who you've never met? You know, Mython wasn't a YouTuber at that time. We just knew him from the chats, and you got so much out of that.
I have to attribute, I have to thank the first guy I interviewed was Cheyenne Ortiz. He was a commentator for wrestling, and he does like one-on-one interviews. And I asked him a few questions. I said, I want to kind of start interviewing people. What would be some of the advice you'd give me? And the first thing he told me was do a great intro, because that immediately disarms them. So as soon as you give them that great intro, it means you not only did your research on that person, because now you know about them and they see that you know about them, but you put them over without them having to ask. So you didn't have to turn around and go, put your stuff over. Whatever you got going on, or put your channel over. You do it for them. So then they immediately know that you went out of your way to learn about them. And now you know. Now, when you ask questions, it's because you want to know. You're not asking some lame brain bullshit question. I tell guys when they come on Talking Figures, I'm going to ask you the obligatory questions because it's the, when'd you start collecting question. That's what I mean. Because I know right after that question, we're going to fire off into the ether and we ain't coming back. Like it does, like, because I know what I'm going to, then I can start to kind of, I have this, I don't know what I call, I usually call it a bullshit meter or like a good judge of character. So I could kind of see what's off limits immediately and what you don't want to talk about and what you don't mind talking about. And then I just start to kind of ask questions as if I was sitting one-on-one with you at a bar or at a restaurant. And it's just, we're getting to know each other. And the one thing I know we have in common is toys. So that's my base. All right. So I know me and you like action figures. So that's already a common ground. Well, what about them do you like? Because I like my action figures for this reason. You might not. But then I get deeper because why does your love of action figures come? It's a lot of times it's rooted in our childhood and everything like that and how we grew up and how we came up and what we're going through in our, a lot of times people turn to these things to get away from real world shit because it's too hard. That's what I start to notice. And I start to realize that's the same reason I'm doing it, and then you relate. So then the anxiety that I have kind of floats away because now I feel like, oh, me and you are the same. We just, you may not have what I have in terms of anxiety or my physical pains and shit like that, but we're still one and the same. Toys help us get to a safe place in our minds. Toys take us away from bills and bullshit, and whether it's divorce, relationship problems, whatever it is, it takes you away and helps you kind of level the fuck out. And that's one thing that we all have. I noticed when talking to everybody, that's the common ground. And like I said, I don't ever get into all the bullshit, but I tell you what, if everybody just remembered that, I think nobody would have a problem with anybody. Because at the end of the day, that's the common ground. We all love toys.
When this man gets back into the YouTube world, I call him my name twin. Payne's Toy Samples.
Okay.
He did a show. He did toy therapy, basically a one-on-one conversation with, and basically exactly what you just were talking about. Getting that deep dive into what made you like toys. What was that feeling like? How did it change from kid you to adult you?
Exactly.
Like if you ever get a chance to go back and look at some of his interviews and say some of that kind of really touches exactly what you're saying right here.
Definitely. But that's basically, it's funny because Toy Gaines called me that. Toy Gaines was like, "Oh, you're the toy therapist." Because he, when I had his episode, he was going through something, and just talking to me about toys got him through that issue that he was going through. And it wasn't even intentional. That wasn't my intent, but it was just because that was today's guest. And I just, like I said, I credit wrestling because wrestling helped me in the locker room. You meet people I don't know, you know what I'm saying? So when people come in, the first thing I know is wrestling is our common ground. So that's where I'm going to start it. And then I get to know you from there. And then from there, I can decipher whether or not you're a dipshit or a good person, right? But talking figures, so far, I'll tell you right now, I have not met a dipshit. Everybody's been good people. And that's rare. And that's why I kind of gravitated to this world, because I sensed a lot of generosity, goodness, and like a brotherhood here that I could fuck with. Because one of the things that I miss from wrestling is that camaraderie, that brotherhood. I miss that the most. So to see it here and like I said, in a toy world, it was nice. It was a fresh change, and I enjoy it.
Oh yeah. I just want to pop this up real quick. He says that I trained counselor, and sometimes my show went there, and it felt good to help folks.
It did.
So Ted and I, we were on there. We dug deep into some conversation. Talking about our childhoods and how things were and how we grew up. So, it's just good to have. It's good to know that there's people out there that want to listen. They want to. They want to talk about it. It doesn't take a lot, but sometimes you just need that person just to say, "Hey, man, let's talk." It doesn't have to necessarily be the deep dive, but you get there eventually because you start opening Pandora's box. Next thing you know, you know the last 20 years of my life.
Exactly. But that's what, like I said, the one-on-one chat, that's what it's for. Because the second you look over and you see this chat, a shield comes up. You don't want to let people in. I don't need you to know what's going on with me, because now everybody here knows what's going on with me. and I'm not gonna get into that with you. But now, if you look over at that and there's no chat, it's just me and you one-on-one, and we're just talking. Then you kind of open up. And then I start to get to know you because, like I said, talking figures to me wasn't to let everybody know how much you like action figures, because your channel will do that. I don't have to tell people how much you like action figures, but I'm trying to get people to know you, because if they get to know you, then they're going to go over to your channel because now they can relate to you, because they're like, oh, fuck, this person is really cool. I didn't know he liked this like I did, or I didn't know he was into this cartoon like I am. And then next thing you know, they go over and they follow you because now it's something else that they have in common with you. It's not just toys. That's like what talking figures means to me. Like, it's like, I don't care about the toy. Toys is a backdrop. We already know. Like the name of the show is Talking Figures. So, we're going to talk about toys, but they're going to find something else about you that we didn't know. And that's really what I'm trying to get to the bottom to, because like I said, to me, everybody has a great story. Just haven't told it yet.
Right. Absolutely. I 100% agree.
We're going to get to the chat here in a few minutes. I got a couple more questions I want to ask about this. You mentioned your interview with Toy Gains.
Yeah.
How did you end up as like kind of a regular panelist on the Mega Powers podcast? How'd you get hooked up with those guys?
I had Jerk on the show, right? Like a couple weeks after Gains, and we kind of chopped it up after the show went off the air. He offered me a spot. I graciously accepted. And listen, they gave me a platform that helped me garner a lot of fans, and I'll always be indebted to them for that, like for real. And I tell them that all the time. Like, thank you for what you guys gave me, because he didn't have to. He had already had whatever he has in terms of numbers, and his videos do very well. His live streams do very well. He could have just kept it moving right after Talking Figures, but he didn't. He said, hey, man, come on, be a regular. I'm not going to be on every show, but come on, when you can. And, people get to know you because we got a bigger following. And it was like, I would come to Sunday on the pre-roll, and people that were in that stream on Monday, sure as shit, were there on Sunday. And like I said, it was a direct result of being on that program. So I'll always thank them and be appreciative to everything that they did for me, man. But, I didn't expect that to happen. I was just got to know him. By the end of the episode, we were kind of friends, and he was just like, yo, man, I got to talk to you more. Like, this can't just be the first and one. It can't be a one and done, essentially. Right. So I was greatly appreciative of that, man. And like I said, I've made great friends now doing all of this, whether it's a live stream Talking Figures, that I can't believe that I can honestly say that I have now, because I never expected it. It was completely blindsided, man, and I'm so appreciative of it.
Yeah, I think PowerCon was like our awakening to that moment. Like, we were in chats, like we were in everybody's chats. Just we wanted to be, part of the in crowd of people in the space.
Yeah.
But then you go to a show and there's like, well, hey, you're Black Knight, or you're Ted. It's like, oh shit, you know who I am. This is some guy who's doing a show with this guy I know for the last God knows of my life. And it's just a really good feeling that, like, hey, you're no longer just a name in this little box that's right here. You're a physical being.
Yes,
exactly.
That's like I said, when I would see all these people in chat, I was like, I got to get to know some of these people. I don't just like the fact that we just exchanged a couple of like just like a joke or two, a limerick or two in the chat. I want more than that. I want to kind of get to know the person. And I'm sorry, I saw something in the chat from Just Jeff about our D&D stream. I promise you, I will put that over. I was just gonna wait, but we, through this, I met Just Jeff. He became a great friend, and we do it now. We do a live D&D stream every Tuesday on my members only, on the members only. And great friends, Jeff, Zikane, and Grieve, the Real Grievance. Like, these are people that I would just talk to in the chats, and now I'm playing Dungeons and Dragons with them every Tuesday and getting to know them more than I ever expected to. Mikey joined the game now, so now we're getting to know Mikey, JMK Customs, more than I ever expected to. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not normal for me. Like, because in wrestling, you kind of keep your guard up because everybody's gunning for the spot. But here, people don't give a fuck about the spot. They like, here, man, come on my show. Let's talk. Let's kind of help each other out. That's To me, that's how it should be. You know,
yeah.
because let's all succeed together. You know, fuck trying to bury people. It doesn't
There's
work.
enough space out here in this world for all of us, you know.
Exactly, dude.
Let's all sit at the table and eat. Like that's one of the things that like Ted had always said. Like when we started this channel, this business, and all this, you know, like we talked about the table. You know,
Yeah.
at this table, everyone can come eat at the table. But at this table that we're all fine dining at, you're gonna get that person that was like, oh, set your table, whatever, bruh. But now they're like, oh, hey, can I sit right here at your table? Like you're always welcome to sit and eat at our table. Just remember, you weren't there when we needed you.
Exactly.
They didn't build the table.
Yeah,
they didn't help build it.
I always tell my wife, I say, a lot of times you're not cool until you are. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times people, you like, I don't want to sit at that table because they think you're better. But eventually, like you just said, they turn around, they come back hat in hand because now all of a sudden you're cool and they want to sit at that table. And it's just like, well, we never had a problem with you. You came here with the problem with ego. I always tell people, like, because I started training guys too in wrestling. And I always tell people, man, you leave the fucking ego at the goddamn door. Like wrestling is fake. It's fake fighting, bro. You know what I'm saying? You walk in here like, I'll fuck you, I'm a fighter. You're a liar. You understand? So just kind of leave that shit at the door and just come in here and have fun, man, because that's what this is about. Having fun at the end of the day. Because I'll tell you what, I never pick up a toy and look at it angrily unless I spent way too much money on it. But most of the time, it's just I look at it with love. And that's all I want. I just want to be in this world and just feel positivity. I don't want fucking negativity, man. I can't stand that shit. I get enough of that in the real world.
I want to pop this real quick.
Okay.
Gotta love yourself before you can love someone else. Leave the ego outside. Yeah.
Truer words have never been spoken, brother.
Absolutely.
That is a fact.
So one more question, then we're gonna hit this chat because I know a lot of people have joined us. Yojo Jerk is in here, Articulated Ninja's in here. A lot of others have come in. We want to say hi to them, but this might be like a double-edged sword for you because I feel like as a guy who had to do promos, you probably had to rewatch that. But as a guy who creates content, it seems like something you wouldn't want to rewatch because I personally hate rewatching my shit. Do you rewatch your streams or any of the videos that you put out to try to find ways to improve?
Sometimes. A lot of the times I'll rewatch the play motion, stop motion stuff because there's always room for improvement there in terms of art. I cannot stand the sound of my own voice. I think I sound like a mongoloid. I tell my wife that all the time, drives her fucking crazy. All right, because I'm like, some people think the New York accent is cool. I think I sound like a fucking moron. Just plain and simple. So it's just the way I am. My wife, obviously you're disagreeing already, but I hate the sound of my own voice, and that was another thing when I started reading in the chat, people like, oh, Legend Series got this smooth voice and he's got this great voice. I said, what the fuck are these people talking about? Because I don't know. I don't like the sound of it. So I tend to not with talking figures and the live streams. And a lot of the times it's because it's like, I don't need to hear any of that silliness. Like if I want to do a Randy Savage impersonation, I'll just look in the mirror and do it right now. I don't need to hear the silliness that I said last Sunday, so I'm just kind of like, it's happened. It's done. Let's just get to the next week and I'll worry about that. The only thing I do kind of notice when it comes to the live streams is I would prefer now to have more of a format. I don't like the winging it. I don't like calling it in the ring anymore. I like let's have more of like a format and shit like that. So I just kind of have something to play off of.
Apparently, you have a voice of the people, man.
I have, dude. I started with Randy Savage. We did the live stream, and I went off the rails. My streams go off the rails, Aaron. they tend to kind of just go off the rails real quick. We start with toys. I start over the toys. Next thing you know, we're talking about periods and all kinds of crazy shit that I just was like, where the fuck did this come from? And next thing you know, I'm imitating some old lady from my neighborhood in Queens. There was this lady in Queens. she used to live right a couple houses down from us, and whenever we would hang out too late, she'd come out, she'd start a happy horse shit. Get away from us, stop this bullshit, you know? And one day I just was on stream and I just started pretending to do that voice, and that became like the staple. Like everybody wanted to hear from Estelle. I was the lady. I named it. I was like, oh, her name's Estelle, you know, because I just didn't, you know, I wasn't going to give the actual name of the woman. So it's just things like that. Kind of goes off the rails. And my wife was a guest on another stream and found this clip of this guy. It was a joke. I don't know what it was, but it was about Bigfoot it was a female Sasquatch who had their way with this person. Okay. And he was complaining about it. And that has become a big fucking, you know, big thing on the stream. The streams do that, but I'm noticing that like that's the only thing, Ted, to kind of give you this long-winded answer to kind of take it right back to your question. I don't watch them because it goes off the rails. So by that point, I'm like, you're not going to learn anything from this. You're not going to watch this shit. So that if I could tell you one thing I want to learn is more format, like how you guys have this, where you talk about this, and this. That's kind of how I want to kind of start setting up my future stream.
It's funny that you said, because like I mean that if you go back, well, don't go too far back.
Don't go.
If you went back and watch some of like our other streams, I mean, we were so by like the outline, like, you know, we start out with our what you're sipping on, and then, you know, the first questions, tell us your origin story, and, you know,
yeah,
who are you? And then we got to a point, I'm like, Ted, like this is boring. Like I'm sitting here bored, like going through this outline. Like that's not us, you know.
Yeah.
We are sporadic. Like let's do us, but on YouTube. And, you know, we can have like a guideline, like, hey, these are the things we want to talk about. We might get to them. We probably won't, because that's just how it works.
Yeah.
But a lot of our show success, if you want to call it that, is because we're just being us. This is who we are on camera. This is who we are when the camera's off, except when I yell at him about spending money. But at the end of the day, we still show that on camera.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the thing I noticed was once you start to just be you and you start to be silly and they start to embrace the silliness, then it's okay to go off the rails. Because like I said, listen, do I think I do not take lightly what the joke is about on that video. I'll tell you that right now. Okay. I do not take any situation like that lightly. But to hear a guy complain that a female Sasquatch had his way with her was one of the funniest things I had ever heard in my life. I know it's a joke. I know he's clearly not telling the truth, but it was just the conviction in his voice. The fact that he kind of like, if you're not believing, if you're not wise to the video, you believe that this guy could believe that it happened. It was one of those. That's why it was so funny to me. And it became, just like I said, a staple of the show now, where it was like, if an episode goes by and I cannot not hit a clip because the chat just starts with I can't get clean, or, you know, it sucks, man, because these are all quotes from that video. So he's like, I got to give the people what they want. You know, it's one thing you learn as a wrestler. Got to give the people what they want.
You know, you're gonna be watching something, then like news pops up that this person gets like familiar with a female Sasquatch. Like, God, they were right. That's and I'm sitting here making fun of it. Well, I'm gonna keep making fun of it, actually. But
I'm telling you right now, I hope it's true, because at least then he would be telling the truth, and it would blow my mind.
See, now I want to like have all my news channels up, like be like big on CNN, like breaking news. Sasquatches that are out there molesting people.
Is this a bad time to bring up Dopey? This is the figure that Ed made for us, which is a Sasquatch. Now I'm a little worried here. He's making his debut soon.
You got something to say about this, bro?
Make some things a little awkward. Awesome. Well, I want to hit the chat and a quick shout out, because I saw Yojo Jerk in here. But we're down to just having 1 week with special guests each month. So you are a guest for September. It's October now, but it's fine. Life happens. You are our September guest.
I appreciate that.
We have an October guests booked. And they're some friends of yours. So the last Sunday of October, we will be having on Yojo Jerk and Toy Gains.
Hell yeah.
Mega Powers podcast coming to hang out.
That's going to be a great time.
Yeah, so we're gonna get your other half in here,
Hell yeah.
Aaron, there's so much in the chat. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was just blindly starring things, and I was like, I really probably shouldn't be starring all this.
It's fine. It's all good.
It's fine.
I'm just watching football. It's
I know you are.
13th Prince says, come to join us. Says, good evening, everyone. Going to have to catch this on the replay squad. Well, we appreciate you with this comment, and when you hear this on the replay.
Awesome.
We got Kaiju Kitty. I'm late. What's up? You're right on time. We're getting right into the thick of things now.
Hell yeah. And
then we got Ken. Ken's Toys, not the other Ken. You know the Ken I'm talking about. That Ken. Because my coach would just say, "Man up, you little fuckers."
That's right, motherfuckers.
Hell yeah.
Stop being a little bitch.
Stop being a bitch. God damn it.
Fuckers.
God damn it. Yeah. Fucking damn it. Dude, that little girl is that I want that video in my life. Everywhere. It's that little girl that says, fucking damn it. God damn it. I want her in my life. Just be walking behind me just saying that all day. I would never be mad again. The Titan, Ted's shower thoughts are all about fan balls.
Ball fans.
Ball fans. Listen, you never know. I'm telling you, right, it's going to change your life.
Yeah. I need a fan. I don't know how close I want it to my balls.
Not too close.
We're talking about the shower right now. These are your shower thoughts.
Yeah, my shower thoughts were of the ball fan. I wasn't thinking of Tony's balls in the shower. I mean,
I will say this. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for listening to my stream while you were in the shower. I appreciate that.
Were you thinking about Tony's balls being cooled by a fan while in the shower, listening to his show?
It was more of the philosophy of it all.
The
philosophy of balls and fans and showers and men. And that sweet buttery voice. The sweatiest balls.
Sweaty balls.
Move on.
We're keeping that going now. Same time toys. Don't use the ball fan in the shower, and no one gets half the battle.
That is the first thing they teach you at ball fan school.
Damn it! That's what I knew I failed something this week. Damn it! Son of a Crayon Slayer. Hey
now,
Mr. Wonderful, the other indie wrestler guy out there in the world, who my also other partner of the One Two Kick Out podcast, who we failed this week. Have my people, Travis, call your people. We gotta do something tomorrow. Post thoughts. The Titan. Wait, did Legend just refer to his wife as an emotional support dog?
She's okay with it. Trust me. Yeah. She's fine. I call emotional support animal because she would prefer to be a cat. So it's whatever floats her boat. But that's what she is.
So things I've learned today. First off, do not watch your show with the drink in my hand. Just put the drink way on the other side. Like just a little laughs in the background, like the little quirky things. Like, I'm gonna spit this everywhere.
Yeah.
We'll have spit take number 2 in the show for our end of the year stream. Jason Evangelista.
Hey, what's up, Jay?
K Mac, what's up? How's it going?
My man K Mac, what's up, bud?
The Titan, Black Knight. How do I talk to no one? Dark Claw, I'm right here, mofo. I mean, usually that's how that works, but sometimes he's not physically there. And of course, I think we popped this up earlier, but it's Jay Gonzo is here.
Hell yeah.
The Canuck coming to joining late, listening in the background. Appreciate you, Canuck. Good to see you, man. And then this was kind of back to when we were showing some mad loves about the mug. And then Miss Marathon the Python. Can You Feel the Love Tonight? It's a great song, by the way.
That is a fantastic song.
And once again, if you're not putting that smackdown on the like button, what are you doing?
Man, what are you doing?
Do something.
Come on, man.
Zakanan, Tony's giving me some great advice on diodes, from construction to lighting to equipment for my new studio setup. Awesome friend.
I appreciate you, Zakanan. Yeah, man. I would ever, if anybody ever has any questions, I never shy away. I'll always answer them.
The man of Art G is here. If you didn't know about Art G, this man has the finest hair in the YouTube game.
Nice.
This man's hair's game is on point. Just saying. Go check it out. Samuel Edwards, how's it going? What's happening?
My man, Sam. What's up, bud?
And then looks like we got some new channel members, Ted. We got Justin Booth, who is now officially a Hella Doper. And of course, and then Jason Evangelista gifted a Hella Dope membership. I'm not sure who it went to, but whoever got that, make sure you thank Jason for that. And I think we got Articulated Ninja. What's up, Ninja? Good to see you. Says, what's up, everyone? Legend Series has come a long way in the community in such a short time, and he honestly deserves the praise. One of the rare, genuine guys in this hobby.
I appreciate those kind words, man. Thank you so much.
Yes. Obviously, Ninja, you're talking about me. It's fine. I get it. Thank you. I didn't really put up all the good garb today, but I appreciate it. And then Mr. Magnus. I gotta ask your opinion on the Rock thing. Where do you think this is going? I mean, we all know where this is going.
I mean, it's obvious, but I'll tell you this: it's probably the best long-term storytelling I've seen in a very long time with the whole bloodline family thing, and it's obvious where it's going. I don't know if you want to wait on that for wrestling, but
so many. Maybe can.
Well, is that it for the chat?
Yeah, that was the last question.
Okay, so look, Tony, I'm going to preface this with, once we open Pandora's box, it cannot be closed, okay? No. Aaron is not going to stop talking about wrestling. So that's why I was like, let's just, we'll take the hour, and yeah, we're going to do that. Well, you guys can talk about the Rock thing, but I want to bring up something else you said in a stream about how all of Kevin Owens' moves are finisher moves.
They are.
And you started listing them off. I said, this son of a bitch is right. He just stole everybody's fucking finisher moves and then just downgrades them.
I noticed that in the Indies when I watched him in ROH. In 2000. Ooh, Jesus Christ, going way back. Like 2011. 2012, I was watching him in the Indies. I forgot which show it was. It was in the Manhattan Center, and I was just watching him do. It was him. I don't know if he was feuding with El Generico, which was Sami Zayn, or if they were on a team at the time. But I'm pretty sure Generico was involved. I might be going back a little further. It might not be the exact dates because, like I said, I smoke a lot of weed and I've taken a lot of chair shots to the head. So the short term, the long term memory ain't what it used to be. So. But I remember seeing that, and leaning over to my buddy Kenny, because we were at the time in the business, like we were done training and we're like kind of working regularly. And I said to him, I was like, "Do you notice this motherfucker? Everything he does is a finish. Like Shawn Michaels super kick finish, Jeff Hardy swanton, Stone Cold Stunner. Like everything he's doing is a finish. It's like, can he have just like a snapmare? Can he have maybe just like a couple, like a regular move? Why is like, can I see a snap suplex? Or does it have to be this powerful German that he does the triple, because he was doing like it was like crazy. Everything's a finish.
Where's Chris Jericho's list of 1,001 holds?
Buddy.
Arm bar, right?
Buddy, like that. It's one of those things where I hate hearing this, but you hear from even like I'm starting to hear from old timers when I talk to them. That's just the way the business is now. It's just the way it is. It's not the way it's not our generation no more. Because I've watched them tell young guys, you shouldn't do a super kick every 3 moves. Otherwise, it doesn't mean anything anymore. And them literally just no sell it. They don't give a fuck. They just do what they want, you know? And like, I never like, there's always a boom. You always blame somebody. I blame the Young Bucks for the stupid super kick parties because they made the super kick mean nothing. In my day, I hate to say it like that, but you saw Shawn Michaels tune up that band. I don't know about you two, but I knew the match was fucking over. If he hit the kick, it was done. That's what it meant to me. And that's what it meant to a lot of our generation. Like, you see Stone Cold Steve Austin hit that stunner. It's lights out. The match is done. That is the pop. That is the climax of the match. Boom. Let's go home. That's when you get them. But when you see like fucking Kenny Omega, and I mean, how many V triggers do you need to fucking hit before you make your point? It's like one of those things where it's like, is it a finish? No. Or now are you just doing this move? And how many times are you going to fucking do the move before I turn around and go, I got it. You need the guy in the face. How about you put him down for the 3 count instead of just continuing to knee him in the face? It doesn't make it believable anymore. I know it's fake. But the point of this is to suspend your disbelief enough to say, could be, But when I see the guy hit the knee, no blood, no broken nose, no broken fucking face. How many times do you hit it before I finally turn and go, oh, that ought to do it? It's like, come on, man. It's lost its luster.
I felt like that. I can't remember exactly when. It's like I think when Stone Cold really was kind of towards the end of his career.
Yeah.
When he hits that stunner and so and he hits it again and then he hits it again. And it's like a lot of it's like that comedic piece. Like, okay. Well,
a lot of that is the camera goes off the air. A lot of that stuff that you see with that, where he hits the stunner and they no sell and they get back up and they walk right into another stunner, is a lot of times is shit for just the arena. And someone's filming it on a phone and then they post it. And then one of these dipshits see it, that it's coming up in training. It's like, well, I want to do that instead of just like, I'm all for comedy and wrestling, but certain things like Santino Marella, things like that, it's perfect, but like when you when you just basically besmirch a move and just kind of take it. And when I was coming up, that was for us, it was the DDT. So many people did the DDT because whatever it was, when they would default to not knowing anything, or it was like a botch, a miscommunication, first thing they do, kick stomach, DDT. And then I would always tell people, when Jake hit that was it. He literally drives your head into a mat. There is no getting up from a DDT. That should not be a transition move. I would always have to tell guys in training, you shouldn't constantly go for a DDT. But again, that's the business now. I saw it. It was like, oh, the DDT became the super kick. The super kick is now your transition move. So instead of just kind of punch, kick to the stomach, it's punch, step back, super kick. Step back, another super kick. It's like, well, how many fucking, Jesus Christ. Like, wrestling is topsy-turvy, man. I don't know where it's gone, but that's why I like what's going on in WWE right now. I like the Roman Reigns storyline with The Rock. It's very predictable. Very predictable. You see where it's going, but that it's going to be good because they're telling the story to me correctly. Now
what I like most about it is while 100% predictable, the exact date that it's going to happen. It's the how are we getting there?
Yeah.
That's what keeps it exciting because it's not every week you're getting, this match or this thing happening, or like last night was like the return of a lot of things. A lot of people came back.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, what's gonna happen on Monday? Now I gotta see what happens on Monday. I gotta see what happens now on Friday.
And it's nice because now it's starting to they're starting to get cooking right at the right time because they're about to go to Netflix.
Yeah.
And they need to take that audience to Netflix with them. So everybody who's been rocking with them on USA now for fucking decades has now got to either have a Netflix subscription or got to get one. So they got to take these hot storylines into that era. So that's why The Rock came back at the perfect time. He's setting up a Survivor Series. Yep. That is exactly the setup now. Now you're going to have the babyface bloodline versus the heel bloodline, and The Rock is obviously going to choose the heel bloodline because he is then going to become the true tribal chief to Solo Sikoa. This is the thing that blew my mind, and I'm shocked that it worked. because I thought it was going to be Jimmy Uso right after Roman lost the belt. I thought Jimmy Uso was going to go crazy with power and say, I'm the tribal chief now. Instead, they did it with somebody I did not expect it with Solo Sikoa. And the smart play was to kick Jimmy out and start a whole new bloodline with guys that, you know, we might know because we're smart to the game, but like a casual WWE fan don't know Jacob Fatu. They don't know who Tama Tonga is. They don't know those guys from Japan. So you bring those guys over, that's a whole new fresh crop of Samoan wrestlers that have now can say, well, they didn't fuck with Roman Reigns. I've never seen these guys before. These guys could just be Solo Sikoa's guys. So now it makes sense, you know? And Jey Uso, I mean, bona fide fucking babyface now. Like, I think it's safe to say. I didn't expect the Yeet thing to get over the way it did.
Oh my God, yeah.
But bona fide babyface now.
I mean, he solidified the name Main Event Jey Uso.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it was
very good.
it was a thing because of Roman.
Mhm.
It is now a thing because he made it a thing.
And let's just, I don't want to take it all the way back, but that feud with Jay and Roman in 2020 during the pandemic is real to me. My honest opinion is what saved the company during that time, because no one really gave a fuck because it was in that empty arena bullshit. But that story between Jay and Roman was so good that you had to watch. You had to tune in, you know, and that was one of those things where I'm like, you know, I have been a Roman Reigns guy all the way back when he was on the Shield. When people turned on Roman when he won the Rumble and people were booing him, I'm like, what the fuck? This is the guy. This is the future. I saw it then how good he was. And I remember because when I went to WrestleMania in Dallas and I had an argument with some dummy who was just talking so much shit about Roman Reigns. And I said, what's your beef with Roman Reigns? And he couldn't give me a legitimate answer.
I would say at the time, if you asked me what my beef was, because I mean there was some legit beef for a while. I think now most people can answer it this way: is they treated Roman Reigns the way that they treated John Cena.
John Cena, yeah.
Shoved Roman Reigns in your face every day for every match, every high profile, and I didn't want to see it. I was tired of it. I'm like, you know, you're supposed to be this big dog, and like you're laughing at everything.
I tell people what happened is Vince McMahon will shove the metaphorical dick down your throat until you like it, whether you like it or not. Because we hated John Cena because he was shoved down our throats. Now we all love Johnny Boy.
Yeah.
He's grown on us, right? And I knew, I kept saying it to everybody, like, he's shoving Roman down your fucking throat because eventually you're going to learn to appreciate this guy's work. It's basically what he did, because he did it with, here's the thing. He did it with Hogan, but we accepted Hogan, right? He tried to do it with Brett and Shawn, but Shawn, people turned on real quick because they saw through Shawn. They saw he was a fucking asshole, right? Yeah. And then he did it with Austin and The Rock. The problem was, like I said, we embraced them. We couldn't embrace John Cena. I don't know why. I till this day can't understand why we didn't embrace John the way we did. Until, like I said, you start to appreciate the work. When he put in 10 plus years, you finally turn around and you go, you know, you can only hate a guy but so much before you start to be like, you know, he kind of endured everything we threw at him. Let's just throw him a bone and start kind of giving him his flowers.
Yeah, but the ultimate piece for Roman was Roman being Roman.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you watched there was a I think it was the WWE biography
about him. Yeah.
Where he told his story like this tribal chief character. It's not a character.
Yeah.
This is me.
Yeah.
This is who I am. Like you know, the Usos are talking like, yeah, no, this is how he treated us as kids.
Yeah.
It's just on a big stage now.
It's one of those things where too, like Triple H. I always loved the story that Triple H told, that after the curtain call where Vince said to him, "You're gonna have to learn to eat shit and like the taste of it." Mm-hmm. I think Roman Reigns was this. It's the same boat. Like Roman is gonna do what Vince tells him to do. Like a lot of people turn on Roman Reigns after that sucker and succotash promo, because that's kind of where you kind of saw Roman couldn't cut promos. Because Roman
ate him up on that.
Yeah, well, because again, and I always said this for a very long time. When you get a fucking script from a guy who's not a pro wrestler, you're basically putting that pro wrestler in a fucking box. because now he's got to conform to your words, not his. The one thing I always gave CM Punk credit was when he would tell fucking writers is, you're not in my head. You can't say what I would say. You know what I'm saying? And that's a lot of times that has to be how you do promos. Whenever I tell guys how to cut promos, I don't put words in their mouth. I say to them, what do you want to say? And then you figure it out that way. And I think that was a lot of the shit with Roman, because John Cena had his thing. John Cena was fine with being John Cena had the cadence promo that just to drive me crazy. It was always like this. I will not then. It would go up like that. That's how John Cena's promos were. He always had the same, like, that was my thing. John was a one-trick pony when it came to promos. Yeah. Like, he could build a main event. I'd give him credit. But you knew he was going to hit the fucking same lines that build to the promo. You know, right. Roman at that time was in that PG era when it was like I said, sucker and succotash. It just wasn't working, you know. And then he had that leukemia scare where he had to go away for a while, and I think that's what he needed. He needed to go away for a while. He needed to come off camera because you needed to kind of cleanse your palate with him. Yeah.
So I have a question for you. You were talking about developing newer, younger wrestlers and promos. Yeah. So you're teaching people now. What like old school wrestler philosophy speaks to you? Because there's people like Heyman out there, Cornette, Rip Rogers does an amazing job on Twitter, like dumbing things down for people.
Yeah.
Is there somebody that really speaks to you and you're like, no, I'm a Paul Heyman guy, or I'm a Jim Cornette guy?
I like
somebody I'm not mentioning,
but there's the one I always default to is Jake the Snake Roberts. He cut a promo like in the 80s that just was so much. I love 80s promos. Don't get me wrong. I love Hogan screaming at the camera. I love Macho Man literally saying gibberish where you're like, what did he say? You know, and like Ultimate Warrior literally just snorting a line of coke and just saying whatever would just come up into his head. It was just the way it was back then. But Jake would make you listen. Yeah. Jake spoke. He didn't yell. He spoke softly. He wanted you to lean in and listen to what he was going to say. And that to me was Roddy Piper was another one. I always tell people, I always ask a wrestler when they come to me and they say, I want to get better at promos. What do I do? And I always say to them, you got to figure out your personality first. We got to get to the bottom of that. What's the gimmick? What are you going to do with your angle? Then at that point, you can figure out how you're going to word your promos. Because if you don't get to the source, if you can't, when I say to you, what's your gimmick, and you can't tell me what it is, you just go, oh, it's kind of like Shawn Michaels and this, then I'm like, this is going to take some time because you don't have a grip on your character. You're naming other people. Why are you naming other people? Talk to me. When people say to me, they go, what's your gimmick, Tony? I say, I'm a piece of shit that hates everything. That's the base. I'm a bad guy. I'm a piece of shit that hates everything, but I'm also smart. I pick my battles. I don't go after the biggest dog in the yard because I know I'll get my fucking ass kicked unless I have backup. So I'm going to go after the ones that I know, the weak ones, you know, because that's the kind of character that I'm portraying, a piece of garbage, you know? Oh, he attacks the weak links because he's a piece of shit. And then from that point, that's how I would decide for my promos. Who am I fighting? Oh, you're fighting this guy who's 3 times your size. Okay, now I got to figure out how I'm going to word this thing to kind of get into his head, because that's the only way I'm going to fight this guy is getting into his head. So I used to tell the promoter, let me take a mic to the ring. Hey, why? Because I'm going to talk shit and I'm going to try to get into his head. And then I would go to the wrestler and I'd let him know, I'm going to talk shit. You're 3 times my size. No one's going to believe that I can beat you up. So either I'm going to have to cheap shot you before the bell rings, or I'm just going to talk shit to the ring and you're going to shut me up real fast. And this crowd is going to pop because you just shut me the fuck up. And then he would be like, oh, that's good. Like, yeah. And it's easy night. We go home. Nobody gets hurt. You know, it's like one of those things, you know, but the art of the promo is gone. It's not about who can talk the best. It's about who's more athletic. And like I said, I saw that a long time ago, man.
I want to pop up Trust the Screamers thing here. What is your thoughts on MJF and his ability to speak on the mic?
Well, I actually met MJF a few times. Spoke to him, a few times when he was coming up, because he trained at WrestlePro in Jersey, and he came through the company that I came up through, Ace. They had a small company. They were having like the trainees at the time because he was a trainee at the time. And he came through and he fucking, dude, he got in the ring. And at the end, we all got together and we were all talking about like, what'd you think about the show? I literally went to everybody's like, who was the guy that wore the Burberry scarf? And they were like, Max. And I'm like, that guy needs to be the champion. I saw it then. I was like, yo, he has a presence. He's got a confidence that nobody else has. And that's at this level. He's just coming up. I was like, how long has he been training? They were like, a couple months. I was like, you better put your belt on that guy because strap a rocket to that guy's ass because he's not going to be here very long. I was like, and make him your champion so you can at least get some footage of him. Because when he goes to the big company, which at the time I thought he was going to WWE. I didn't really see AEW coming at the time. I said, when he gets to WWE, they're going to start asking for footage and you're going to want your name attached to this kid. And people were like, no, I hear he's got an ego. He's allowed to have an ego. He's that fucking good. I said, when you're that good, you're allowed to be like that. Right. I said, this business is based off that kind of fucking attitude and ego and ability. And he had everything I could. Honestly, I told them then, I was like, if I was restarting a company now, that'd be the first guy I'd ask for. I mean, because that's the kind of guy you're going to sell. Because that's the kind of guy that people will pay their fucking money to see me bring in a real good name to kick the shit out of him. Because he's got that kind of heat. He generates that kind of heat. I was like, if you can't see that, you're fucking blind, man. And you put a mic in his hand and he's competent. He's not just sitting there like a deer in the headlights going, like, I mean, are you fucking kidding? You know how many times I've seen a guy get handed a mic and it's like nails on a chalkboard. And you're just like, oh, take the fucking mic away. You shouldn't have given it to him. Take it away now, But this guy, they put the mic in his hands and he was just like, and he was cutting a promo, I swear to you, but 10 people. The crowd, there was nobody there. It was a trainee show, and he was already in that kind of mindset with 10 people. I was just like, yo, this guy is a star in the making. He is, to me, I would say he is the best promo cutter of this generation.
I want to follow up that with another name. And that name is a guy who for the last, 15 years now has made a name for himself, but didn't start out as a wrestling guy. What's your thoughts on The Miz?
I thought he was very fucking annoying when he came into the game. I'll tell you that very much. But to see where he's come, I mean, he deserves his flowers. I honestly, I never thought in a million years that I would grow to respect. But again, I always tell people, they shove this thing down your throat until you learn to respect them. You respect the work after the amount of time they put in. The guy has never gone away. No. And he could have. Because a lot of times they tell he had go away heat, where people just hated him to hate him. They didn't like he didn't have any angles, and they still hated him because they didn't want to see him. And I was just like, he endured all that. He like WrestleMania 27. He was in the main event. Did you know that? Because I didn't. Because all I thought was The Rock and Cena, and it wasn't. Because The Rock was the special guest referee. But anytime I ask somebody what the main event is of WrestleMania 27, they say Rock versus Cena, and I say no. It was The Miz versus Cena. The Rock just happened to be there. Yeah. But you don't understand that. You think it was these two, and The Miz was just there. The Miz was the champion.
Yeah.
So it was just one of those things.
That lives rent-free in my head all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. And listen, he still has one of the greatest moments in WWE history when he cashed in. And that kid in the crowd.
Where angry girl?
Yeah. I always tell people, I'm like, that, and when you come up in the game,
that's the reaction you want.
That's the reaction you wait for. And when you get it, you're like, moo. Like the second you get it, you relish in it and you cherish it forever because that means you got him. And like he'll always go down in history as that was one of the greatest cash-ins ever because of that, because it was shocking.
Yeah, that cash in, and then that segment on Talking Smack with
Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan,
yeah. It's one of those things where you, like I said, you're like, motherfucker's right. When he goes off on that promo, you think to yourself, like, he's right. Like he busted his ass, and he still doesn't get the respect he deserves. And I think he's finally getting it. But again, wrestling's a game of just you just got to put the time in. The more time you put in, eventually there's a tipping point. People just start to turn, even like the jobbers. Like people now talk highly of Brooklyn Brawler and shit like that, and you turn around, you think to yourself like Brooklyn Brawler, like people are like, oh no, he's a respect. I'm like, okay, all right.
Well, I have another name for you. So I want to hear your thoughts on Chris Jericho, mainly because you said the Jake the Snake stuff, and I thought of Chris Jericho because I think it was 2007, 2008. Chris was doing that feud with Shawn Michaels. He had cut his hair short, and he started, instead of being yelling, screaming Jericho, he was very soft spoken and forced people to listen to him, which I thought was genius. And Chris Jericho was so good at reinventing himself from that cruiserweight division to Y2J to the stuff he did with Shawn Michaels, which I still think is some of his best work with Shawn. That was an amazing period, in my opinion. And then, doing the stuff with the list. And then ever since the AEW thing, it just seems like the guy's gone off the rails. And I'm curious of your opinions on
sometimes guys age out and they don't want to accept it. And I think that's his problem. I think once he hit AEW, it was cool to help them through the first year, because they needed the name recognition to get on TNT, which is fine. But after that, he should have kind of reverted back to maybe just like a commentary role, or maybe backstage, just kind of be like an agent or something. He should have helped run the show, because now it's like no one cares. Like I said, you aged out, bro, and you're in a company now where everybody likes the younger talent. They like that fast-paced bullshit, and they're not buying his thing. Jericho will go down in history as one of the greatest for me. I love the list. His feud with Dean Malenko in WCW, his feud with Eddie Guerrero in WCW, his feud with when he came to WWE, and he had amazing feuds with everybody from The Rock all the way down to Shawn Michaels, Triple H. When he won the title in Pittsburgh at that Raw, and they took the belt back and gave it to Triple H, I was so disappointed. I popped so hard to see Chris Jericho come in that quickly and win the belt. So, because no one saw that coming. So you could kind of he was always good, and even through that right through that invasion angle and shit like that, like he was a real pivotal role. First undisputed champion, beat Rock and Austin on the same night. I'll tell you what, if DraftKings were around then, everybody would have lost money because no one would have picked Jericho to win that.
No way.
I was shocked.
Not then.
And you say Jericho versus Shawn Michaels. Which one? Because their WrestleMania 19, that 2003 run, was fantastic that they had. And then 2008, when he punched Shawn Michaels' wife in the face, I swear to you, I never laughed so hard in my life. Because I was just thinking in my head, like, how is he going to work this? And he fucking clocked her. And I was just like, fuck, man, Jesus Christ. It was sick. To a point where Shawn had to give him the receipt in the ladder match, and that's how he knocked his tooth out. Because he fucking hit him with that like shit for like there was a little bit of stiffness in there because of what he did to his wife. So and you say that he followed Nick Bockwinkel. So that was how Jericho changed his style to more of Nick Bockwinkel. If you watch Nick Bockwinkel in AWA and early in like NWA years, that's how Nick Bockwinkel was. He would wear the suits. He would talk very slow, very calmly, make you listen, very eloquent. He was very intelligent, very smart. Like the words, he would use big words to confuse people. And that's what Jericho started to do. He started using big words to try to confuse you, to try to make you like you're the moron. Look how smart I am. It was a brilliant transition from the, yeah, baby, I'm Chris Jericho, Y2J shit that we were so used to seeing. Jericho, I will always give him credit, was able to evolve when the time was right.
Yes.
But again, just like The Undertaker, and he is one of my all-time favorites. The man was able to evolve every single time he needed. But eventually you age out, and it doesn't matter what you do. You cannot evolve anymore because either your body or your mind just doesn't want to. It just can't catch up.
I got one for you, though. One, even with age, kept pretty relevant in the evolution. This guy.
I'll give Sting credit because Sting didn't have an insane moveset. Sting always kept it simple. Sting a splash, Scorpion Deathlock, Scorpion Death Drop, woo, powder bang on the chest. Sting was smart. And I like Sting a lot. I think Sting is a great talent in the ring. He had some great matches, whether it be with Ric Flair, even Hogan. I know everybody shits on the 1997 Starrcade match with Hogan. And I always say this, if Sting wins cleanly, takes the belt, You dissolve the NWO back to just Hall and Nash. Hogan comes off TV for like a year. WCW, they could have given it could have went more than 83 weeks. You start pushing young talent, which they had. All that talent that comes over to WWE, puts WCW out of business, was all fucking there first. And if they would have just taken their heads out of their asses, take Hogan off TV in 97, drop it down to Nash and Hall. Now no one wants to fuck with you no more because you lost the title and the power, and kind of just bring up all these young talents like the fucking Jericho and Guerrero and all these guys. I think you might be watching WCW Nitro instead of Raw, because they were so close, so close to putting WWE out, that all they needed to do was just be smart about it, and they got too stupid, and they let too many inmates run the asylum, and that was like really what fucking happened there.
That's why I feel what's happening with Jericho right now. He has a little too much power in AEW.
Yeah.
Of his character.
Yeah.
And he's just creating stables now for the sake of creating them.
The problem at AEW is Tony Khan is a fucking mark. Okay? He's a fucking mark.
He's not an owner.
Yes, he's a fucking mark, and he's letting guys like Jericho have creative control. And now when you give a pro wrestler creative control, you have already fucked yourself. Because now that guy, if he doesn't want to fucking put the guy over, if he doesn't want to do the angle that you want to go with, he's going to pull that goddamn card every chance he gets. And that's what's happening now. He's giving too many people creative control, by the way, and things are getting to their heads. And they're walking all over this fucking guy. And he's either too stupid to realize it, or he's just too much of a fan. He's got his head too far up his own ass to realize what the fuck is going on. You know, I used to see it all the time. Listen, I'm not saying Tony Khan's not a nice guy, but you could clearly tell when the wrestlers are there at the press conference, he's a fucking mark. They treat him like one. You know what I'm saying? Like he's hugging them. You know, like, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah. You know, like, don't get me wrong. Triple H will hug a competitor in the back after a great fucking match. You know what I'm saying? But that's in the back. You get that behind the scenes camera bullshit that catches that. He's not at a press conference literally hanging on fucking Claudio Castagnoli going, oh my God, I'm so happy you're here. Like Triple H ain't fucking doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm saying. It's that kind of shit that you like. I don't respect you as a impartial observer. I can only imagine what the locker room thinks. Oh yeah. You know, like, and that's what's sad, because you have something that people have been thirsting for since the Monday Night War. The alternative. People have been thirsting for this for decades. Now, don't get me wrong. You had TNA, you have Japan, you have all that other shit, but people want American style wrestling like WWE on television. They want that competition, and you were able to provide it. But the second people saw what it was, which is honestly it's just a high budget independent promotion, and as someone who has produced pro wrestling now for almost a decade in terms of production value and production and shit like that, that's what it is. It's an indie with just a lot of money. It's just, if someone gave an independent promoter $1 billion and was like, here you go, run your wrestling company, let's see what you got. Because that's all it is when I watch. Buddy, last time I watched AEW was 2 years ago. It was Wednesday Night Dynamite. I don't know what the fuck happened. And I was just kind of yelling at the TV because it was just one of those moments where you just kind of like, oh, I fucking hate this shit.
Yes.
The guy was like, if you hate it, stop watching it. And I was like, you know what? You're right. And I never watched it again.
I think the last time I watched AEW was All In Chicago when CM Punk debuted.
Jesus, bud.
Yeah.
Exactly. That was right around the time I kind of was like, I can't do this shit no more.
I used to sit here, and it was probably about the same time. We were probably yelling at the same thing, because this is a little bit pre-Hella Dope, because I still had my man cave here and not all this shit. But I would come down every Wednesday. I'd be so excited. I'm like, dear, I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to drink a beer and I'm going to watch AEW. And I would just be down here fucking screaming, going, what the fuck is this shit? And then I'd come upstairs all pissed off. She's like, I thought you were having relaxing time. I'm like, the fuck are these guys doing? None of this shit fucking makes any goddamn sense. Nope. Like, fuck it. And then she's like, well, you going to stop watching it? I'm like, I'm fucking pot committed now. Yeah, I'll go downstairs and fucking finish it. And a lot of times I just get to, like, you know, an hour and a half in, I'd just be like,
They
nope.
they have a tendency to start strong. So like
Yeah.
their opening contest is like, all right, that's not too bad. I'll kind of stick around. Let's see what you got. And then by that end of that first hour, you're just like, what the fuck happened? Like you had it. That opening contest was good. How the fuck did we get here? Like, what's going on? It's one of those things where it's just like no one knows what's going on in that company. God, there's no direct. You could clearly see it. Like, I'm not like I said, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I don't work there. But I know people who work there. You know, I came up with Santana and Ortiz. You know, I worked with them. You know what I'm saying? Like I know them and I saw them go. I trained with Dutch, Bill Carr, who's with Vincent in the Righteous. I trained with him, and I watch him over there, and I just like I'm happy to see them succeed. I love the fact that they're on TV every week and they're making money doing what they've always wanted to do. Because when I trained with Bill, all Bill talked about was getting on TV and being like just a working pro. And just to see them succeed like that is great. But when I see like it just makes no fucking sense. And I'm just like, it's like, what the fuck? I that's why I don't never fault Santana for bouncing. I never fault him. Because I understand why he did it.
I have another question. Maybe you can explain it to me because it made me mad when I heard it. So maybe there's a different side and you can be like, okay, yeah it's kind of dumb, but let me explain it. And then we'll get to the chat because there's a lot in there. So more recently on AEW, because it was on, my wife was watching something and then AEW came on. And Darby Allin has this title shot against Daniel Bryan.
Okay.
Fucking Moxley just comes out there and just says, just give it to me. And he's like, well, no, I'm not going to do that. You got to fight for it. And he's like, okay, fine, I'll fight for it. My problem with this was Darby Allin's got this guaranteed title match. And some dude comes in and just says, give it to me. And he says, no, fuck off. But he puts it on the line for this match, but Darby Allin gains nothing in this. If he wins, he remains where he is. And if he loses, he just lost it. There was nothing about, okay, well, maybe if you go do this, then we can have this match. Or maybe if you're going to give me something. There was no stipulation for Darby to have anything. It was just, give me your title shot. You better fight me for it. Okay, fine. I'll fucking whoop your ass. That's fine. You're fucking idiot skateboard kid.
That's them going like, oh well, we have to walk this back. We gave him this title shot, but we need Dean Ambrose to fight this to fight because now we got this new gimmick angle where is Shane McMahon coming in or what is this new NWO style we're taking over gimmick that Dean Ambrose is doing? We have to get this over. So we'll move Darby Allin to the back for now. That's another thing too. Like
nothing to gain. Yeah, there was nothing to gain. It's a stupid fucking angle.
Yeah, they'll try. I've seen them turn people face, and then 2 weeks later turn them heel. Like, well, we just turned them baby face, but let's turn them heel again. Or we just turned them heel, let's turn them baby face again. It makes no. They don't. Like I said, there's no direction. There's no smart. And it's the thing too. Like he's got smart people there. Like Arn Anderson used to work there. Like these guys are there, but I think it's one of those times where they're just like. You could tell this guy whatever he wants, he's not going to fucking listen because he's got somebody else in his ear. He's listening to somebody else, whether it's the Young Bucks, whether it's some other young guys that he likes. I don't know, but somebody's in his ear and this is a good idea. We should do it this way, or let me do it this way. Like I said, he could just be bogged down by he gave too many fuckfaces creative control, and now they're all calling it in, and he doesn't know what to do, so he's just letting them do whatever the fuck they want because you can't turn around now. To John Moxley and say, you have to do this when you've given him creative control. Because now he turns around and goes, well, I got this idea for an angle where I'm going to put this dummy Marina Shafir on my team. And I'm going to put Claudio Castagnoli on my team. And even though William Regal started the Blackpool Combat Club because he's from Blackpool, England, we're still going to call it this. It was like, what the fuck? Yeah. The guy, William Regal walked in, saw the shit show it was and went running back to WWE.
Oh yeah.
It's like, I mean, for Christ's sake, the guy who started the company, one of the guys who started it, ran back to WWE.
Yep.
That alone should tell you he helped start the fucking company. And Cody Rhodes was like, I can't fuck with this place no more. I got to go somewhere where it makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
That just goes to show you how fucked up.
And that was the downfall. That to me was where things started crumbling. When he left. There were some bright spots. I'll give you some bright spots here and there, and it was very far in between. But you definitely could see the difference between when Cody was running the show and when he wasn't.
Yeah. Because Cody was trying to tell stories. Because whenever he would come out, he would always have a new story. A lot of times they were kind of silly. He would involve his stupid dog, which I love dogs, but it's like, what the fuck you bring the dog out for? It makes no sense, Or he'd have this whole team, and then like my favorite one was QT Marshall. That guy used to make me laugh every fucking time because that stupid name. But it was just like, it was silly things, but he was trying to get over young talent. He was trying to get over people that you didn't know. And it just, I don't know. I don't know why it fucking didn't work with Cody, but it's worse now than it ever was in terms of watchability. Because anytime I ask somebody, hey, you watch? Yeah, I watch it. What do you think? Ugh. It's always the same response. No one can tell me anything good about it.
They won't. But the only reason why they still watch is because it's something else. It's something else. And TNA is not in a power position to be broadcasted the way it should.
No.
NWA, I think, is still only on YouTube, or
I
don't even remember how you can watch it now.
But TNA's smart doing that team up deal with NXT.
Well, they did it with AEW first, and it did them no justice.
Yeah.
You just let Kenny Omega come in and just ransack the whole roster.
Yeah,
like I said, with NXT, you're putting two companies up on a pedestal. NXT was already on a high pedestal itself. Triple H put that at a place that it can never go back to. But to bring TNA in, bring that talent in, hell, to have Mickie James bring the title to Royal Rumble was huge.
Yeah.
That's doing something for a company.
It's smart business, and it's giving a whole new audience to guys like Joe Hendry.
Joe Hendry's the best.
He is. And I play his song all the time to drive my wife crazy.
It's so good.
I play that song all the time. And I tell you this, he's a bullshit artist. We should all sue him for false advertisement because I say that guy's name all the fucking time and he never appears. So that's bullshit. But
how do you know that he doesn't appear?
That is true.
He didn't say when he'd appear.
That is true.
Just appear.
That is very true. That's very, very true. And
I'm pretty sure that's the next guy that's coming over, because I'm pretty sure his contract's coming up soon.
I think so. I think he's the next WWE big signee for sure, because he's got a lot of charisma. That's what WWE wants at the end of the day. WWE wants you to be able to work, but also have charisma. You just got to be an actor who can also do his own his or her own stunts. That's it. As long as you're that, you will succeed in WWE.
Mm-hmm. Aaron, is there anything pending in the chat? We're gonna.
I think we got into this. We
could just go through the important and relevant stuff, because I don't want to keep Tony all night. We'll wrap it up here.
Jason says, "Can you guys get Felix onto the Tuesday night D&D?"
Felix is a strictly Yu-Gi-Oh guy. He doesn't do the D&D stuff, so that would probably be a big resounding no. And plus, that is not my. Jeff controls D&D. This is his story. He's the dungeon master. So Jeff is basically God in this world. So it's what Jeff wants, Jeff gets. So
Chris from Cutthroat Comics asks, what women wrestler in NXT is the most improved wrestler or mic work?
None of them, but
I'll give you Roxanne Perez.
I guess. Yeah, I guess. If you had to put a gun to my head and say which one do you think has gotten better, but she's the champion, right?
Well, there's no one else to put the belt on.
Yeah.
Well, you got Julia now. You got some people that you can start the process.
The problem with her and the other one that they signed from Portugal or Spain, the trouble with the language. If that gets you, if you can't cut the promos in the language, that's when I notice it doesn't work.
But that's when you put a good mouthpiece with her, so she doesn't have to talk.
Oh,
You
buddy,
let
the art of the manager is dead. I wish it wasn't true, but it is.
really.
Yeah,
That's
people don't. I don't know what it is. Maybe they don't want to pay just somebody to follow somebody around and talk for them. But it's just that art form is gone, and I hate it because managers that was their job to get people over, and a good one.
Yeah, but do you want to sit and listen to Oscars talk all day?
No,
dude.
No.
Point taken.
Yeah, no, I agree, buddy. I agree. Trust me. But the problem is you can't market somebody who can't speak the language, because a lot of the times the champions are the ones that go to like Jimmy Fallon, and all those shows to kind of put over the company. And if you can't properly, if you need a translator, a lot of times it's just like, let's send Roman. That's why those guys do. Like, you want a marketable person that you could send and do all that stuff.
Right. Our good friend Trust the Screamer says, any question is Mike Quackenbush gone for good?
Probably. He was wasn't he got busted for doing some nefarious shit with fucking female talents and shit like that, or his company or some bullshit. I forgot when it was it's called hashtag Speak Out in wrestling, where they were talking about everybody doing some fucked up shit to people. I think he was one of the guys at the forefront of it, unfortunately. Listen, Quackenbush did a lot for the business. He had Chikara. Chikara was a big indie company for a while, and he was a good wrestling trainer, wrote a book, he even did a TED talk about pro wrestling, but fucking, if you're a piece of shit, you're a piece of shit. I don't know if he is. I don't know if he's not. I don't know. I never really met Mikey, but that's the story that's going around. So I don't fucking know.
Gotcha. I got two from Justin. I'm gonna lump kind of a lot. The first one that I'm gonna show on pop up. You just start picking the names out the basket of AEW stars, but he's saying CM Punk saw it, which is why he quit AEW. Tony Khan wasn't a boss; he's a fucking mark. Yeah. But I mean, look at who's leaving AEW. I don't know if you've been paying attention. The Lucha Bros gone. They're pretty much already signed a deal with WWE. They're just waiting, to make the debuts. Triple H is very big in the tag teams. He needs to rebuild that tag team division. And he's looking. I think there's who was the other one? There's somebody else in AEW that is getting ready to leave.
Well, I know Nero or Miro, whatever his name is. He asked for his release.
Yeah, he asked for his release. I mean, that's only a matter of time before I think he comes back.
He comes back to WWE for sure. Yeah. There's so many guys, but I noticed now Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley signed over there. But it's like one of those things where it's like you'll go over there, you'll sign, you'll get your little shine for a week or two. People will cheer. Oh shit, Bobby Lashley's here. And then in a month, you'll come crawling back to WWE because you'll realize, like, oh fuck, this is not what I wanted. This is not what I signed up for. Like,
but I'm gonna give AEW a little bit of credit, and I'm gonna go super long winded on this.
Yeah.
But look at Swerve Strickland. He probably is the best person who went from WWE to AEW and is still relevant.
Yeah.
He held. I don't think he still has the title. No, he doesn't have it. But he held the title. He's now got a strong backing now.
Yeah.
Like
I filmed him.
He was the best fit.
We filmed him in Queens when he came to House of Glory, and people really bought in to his whole thing, the dance that Nana does.
I love
people.
Oh my god!
Yeah, people were really. Nana's a very funny guy. Yeah. But they really bought in, and it's nice because, listen, he took what he learned at WWE, applied it over there, and won the championship, and kind of had like a nice little run as the champion. He did a good job, Yeah. But again, they wouldn't have taken the belt off him if he was very marketable. You know what I'm saying? They would have kept that shit on him. And clearly it wasn't working. That's why it's on Bryan Danielson now.
I feel like that was their way, though, of saying, hey, look, I know what was it? His contract was he was competing without a contract. That's just their way of saying, oh, well, let's put the title on you and then we'll make you happy and you'll stay for a while. Like,
yeah.
Like, I don't know. I feel like you might be right. You're probably 100% correct. But how much more, is Daniel Bryanson, profitable? I mean, profitable.
No, he's really not. But that's again, it's a part of the mark. It's a part of the mark stuff. Tony Khan's a giant mark, and he's a giant mark for guys like Danielson, because Danielson was in ROH when Tony Khan was coming up watching wrestling. You know what I'm saying? So that is just like, oh, I gotta put the belt on. No, you don't, because Strickland is a young talent who's coming up, and then now has become your young lion, and now you've just fed him to an old lion who technically is not even supposed to be wrestling anymore because of the concussions and the fucked up neck, and is now won your championship, beating the young lion. So now you've diminished Strickland, because now Strickland did not only lose to Brian. Now I'm not taking anything away from Brian Danielson, but you made him lose to Brian Danielson, who's on the back nine of his career.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's losing to the old guy, and now he's got to climb back up, which I guess you can do if done correctly. You can build Strickland back up. I'm not saying you can't, but look where he is. It's not going to be done right. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it's just like, I would love to watch this company. I would love to watch guys like Shane Strickland and guys like MJF, because I think they are the future of the business. But they're not being handled right at AEW because they're just doing what the fuck they want to do. There's no, like, in NXT, you have Shawn Michaels. You have Road Dogg Jesse James. You have Triple H. These guys literally teaching you, taking you to the fucking learning tree, and then you're taking what they teach you and applying it in the ring, and then going to that. That is how it's supposed to be done. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. AEW is it's ass backwards, man. It's been ass backwards since the day it started, man. It's unfortunate, but it's an unfortunate truth, man.
This last one, more of a statement than anything. Justin saying that anybody that's calling Moxley this generation Stone Cold is delusional. He's nowhere near the level of talent as Steve was, and I won't even say the talent,
no,
the body of work.
Yeah, not even close.
Like the stuff that, man, like what Roman has done for the 2020s.
Yeah,
during a year that, no fans, COVID, lockdown, everything. That was Steve Austin during the Attitude. He put the Attitude Era on his back, and he carried that shit.
He single-handedly pulled them out of that 83-week bullshit.
Yeah.
It was Steve Austin and The Rock. It was the feud with Austin and Vince that you saw coming through the pike, and you knew it was coming, but you didn't you couldn't wait. Is the thing I was watching, and I'm sure you guys were too, King of the Ring 1996, when he went up on that stage and said, I was Stone Cold. I said, I just whipped your ass. Austin 316.
You stop in your Bible talking about John
right?
316. Yeah.
I'll never forget that promo. I knew exactly where I was when that promo happened. And I remember the very next day with all the Austin 316 signs. It was literally a changing of the guard. You literally saw it go from that kid-friendly, everybody has a job bullshit. There's a clown, there's a hockey player, there's a fucking garbage man. Now all of a sudden, it's everybody using their names, and I'm gonna kick the shit out of you, like fuck you. It's I'm a better man than you. It literally was that promo that changed it. Because if you remember, by the end of that year, Shawn is going heel, right? And they're starting to fucking form degeneration. As it was all starting to happen, it was a changing of the guard, man. When he did that promo, and he single-handedly pulled them, because at that point, the NWO hadn't even happened yet.
No. I mean, that was also because that went from the Rocky Maivia to,
yes. But it was like I said, it was just like the WWE needed to get pummeled. They needed to get put up against the ropes before they could turn around and have guys like Austin and The Rock say, we need to just do this. Where it's like, fuck you, fuck this. This is how we are now, WWF attitude. And that's what that was the ushering in of it. It was that moment I saw it. It took a while. They had to get the shit kicked out of them because Vince was very stubborn with that for that year from 96, from June of 96 to June of 97 is when you literally see the transitioning from that bullshit kitty. Like I said, everybody has a job to now it's WWF attitude. They pulled Brett. They screwed his ass. Get the fuck out of here. Go to WCW because you are no longer, we can't do that babyface bullshit no more. So it was like one of those that you saw it in that year.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah.
It was impressive. Like I said, when it comes to pro wrestling, man, like a lot of times they'll like kind of adapt to what's going on in pop culture. But a lot of times, and people don't understand, if you're a wrestling fan, you were watching wrestling, they tend to dictate the culture as well. Like something happens like Austin or Hogan, and all of a sudden it becomes ingrained in our culture, and it's not them following a trend, it's them setting the trend. Because like I said, it happened with Hogan, then it happened with Austin, then it happened with Cena, and now it's happening again with Roman. Yeah. It's just the way it goes, man. They don't, a lot of times I'm hoping they bring back the trend of storytelling. I'm hoping this Roman Reigns stuff is actually showing people. You know who else is getting the Judgment Day and Damian Priest and the what's her name? The other one.
Ripley.
Yeah, they're getting a good storyline that's actually continuing past WrestleMania. It's going into past SummerSlam, all the way into this whole year. They've been fucking this whole year with that goddamn storyline. You know what I'm saying? And that's, like I said, that's good storytelling. You tell me if they've done any of that on AEW, and I'll sit here and wait.
Oh God,
never.
No.
And people have the audacity to talk shit about WWE. They have the audacity. How many times I go on fucking Facebook and some moron is talking shit about WWE?
Yeah.
It's like you talk about it, I guess, but then clearly you like bad wrestling, which is fine. I'm not going to knock you for it. You can like whatever the fuck you want. But I've grown up in wrestling. I've been ingrained in it. I've learned. I've trained. I've ran wrestling. I've produced wrestling. I've trained guys. I've done commentary. I've done literally every single job you can do in pro wrestling. I know how it's supposed to be done. And the way AEW does it, it's not how it's supposed to be done, man. It is just not. I've watched so many indies run it the same exact way. They run it the same fucking way, guys. The same way. And you just scratch your head and you go, what? Like, they have so much money. They have so much potential to bring in smart minds to help. But no one wants to listen, man.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a good pin there. So, Tony, what do you want to promote?
Just the channel. Just go over to Legend Series. I got a lot of stuff coming up the pike. If you join the membership, I got hours of content already up on there. I got a lot of behind the scenes stuff. I do a lot of lighting techniques, a lot of some crafting streams if I'm building a diorama. Sometimes it's members only. And then, like I said, of course, I got the pre-roll. I don't know when it's coming back, honestly. I think it's coming back next Sunday. I'm not sure just yet. Recently, I've gone through some health stuff. So that's kind of why a lot of my content didn't come like to a complete halt. I'm still releasing shit, but I've had to dial it back a bit to kind of focus on my health. So it should be coming back this Sunday. But like I said, please just go to the channel and subscribe. There's so much shit there already that you can watch. Like I said, whether it's diorama stuff, just talking shit, whatever it is, man, you have a good time regardless of whether or not it's live or not, man. So just the channel, man. Legend Series. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And, you start before us. Sometimes you're still going on after us, which I like. I'll get off of here and then I will go watch you.
Yes, I see that.
The next day,
you.
I'll fucking go back to the beginning. So it is absolutely a great show, and we don't mind sharing a time slot with you. Normally that thing pisses me off, but I don't know. I find you to be like
quite honest. So. Yeah, I didn't even know about it.
We didn't know either.
Yeah, and I felt terrible when it happened, which is one of, like I said, it was one of the things that I'm kind of right now trying to like work, because I might not do Sundays no more, because I don't want to like, not even that. It's just like I'm starting to get to a point where like I want to do more crafting stuff, like I was telling you off stream. I just want to focus more on building dioramas and stuff like that. I don't mind doing like the silliness. I like it, and I love love talking to the chat and shit like that. But I'm kind of want to like refocus, because one of the things that's going on with me is I need to kind of like find something that takes my mind off of it, and building shit really helps. It's a big help. So I was going to refocus my live streams to maybe like during the day and just kind of build stuff during the day, and then just kind of like leave it as that instead of doing all this prime time shit.
Well, don't not do Sunday because of us, because we're here supporting you.
I appreciate that so much, man. Thank you. Like I said, I love what you guys got going on over here, man. For real, I love the store, and I might take you up on that Legend Series code, because I gotta buy that Italian dude from NXT.
Well, 20% off till midnight, so you got less than an hour left.
I have to use that, yeah, for sure.
But Aaron, what would you like to promote?
Hey, 20% off all WWE figures in stock and pre-order. So get them while the getting's good. Also, So got a lot of that Joy Toy stuff. Oh, you want 18th fans? Come get it.
And I'm typing this code in the chat right now.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Well, Tony, it has been awesome having you here. I've been waiting for this for a long time. We're going to jump over to the members only. You're welcome to join us if you want to. No obligations. I know you said you got to be up early, so we'll be hanging out there if you change your mind. And for our members that are going to join us in that stream,
No, thank you so much, man.
We're doing our drawing on this members show. So part of the member perks is we are going to bring on 2 people to do a Sunday night Hella Dope show with us. So we're going to do that drawing on that member stream here in a little bit. Aaron and I are going to take a little break because we're old and we have to pee and refill our beverages and whatnot. I adjusted the time on YouTube because we were going a little bit long here and I wasn't sure. So I just bumped the time back, but like 10-15 minutes will be in there on the members stream. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, man, Tony, it has been great. Thank you.
I
so
can't
much
thank
for
you guys
hanging with
enough
us.
for this, man. I appreciate this very, very much, man. Like I said, when you called me and asked me to come on the show, I couldn't wait to jump at the opportunity, man. So I appreciate you. I appreciate both you guys, man. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you, man. And Zakana, thank you for becoming a member, man. And we'll see you on the after show.
Absolutely. Looking forward to that. Our very first one, friends. All right, guys. Normally I'll say we'll be back next week, but we'll be back in like 15-20 minutes or so on the members side. Thank you guys, and for non-members, we'll see you all next week. Keep watching. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you all.